Welcome back to Commander Image. Kinda skipped out on the so-called Commander Legends 2, even though it's not really Commander Legends. It's more of a standalone D&D set. I did get the couple precons just because they were good. But I'm gonna show y'all the Katilda Human Tribal deck today. Uh, I like her as a human tribal because she's 2 mana, quick, easy to get out. She dies, it's easy to recast her again. But it's mainly because this human creature control adds mana of any of its color type, which is mainly going to be green and white. And then I can always pump them up if I need to. Not that I give a deal, it's more of the mana dork style. So let's get into it. Start off with a little utility lands, I guess you would say. You know, another way to pump them, a little cheaper than hers. But hey, if I could do both, that's 2. We got a little Tectonic Edge. Got to make sure you have some type of land destruction, even though that's the only one I have. Reliquary Tower. Nice, my hand size is good. There's a few more draws in here than you would expect. Coiled Mana. I'll just kind of glaze through that because they're just a bunch of green and white. Helps you mana fix, basically. Nothing too special about them. I mean, I do have some kind of special looking ones, I guess you say. I threw this one in there. It's not the greatest. It might get replaced, especially if I can get another decent one. But I mean, 1/1 counter on creature is not too bad. But like I said, if I get something that's better than it, I will replace it. I'm not a big fan of the tap lands. Alright. Yeah, so it's a little bit of color fixing. Of course, let's see, for the basics, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got 10 force. Of course, they're from Double Masters, guy like that. And then I have 9 planes. I think all in all, it's about 34 lands is usually what I run in all my decks, unless they're specifically helpful with land stuff. Sorceries. I got a couple searches. Farseek. It's good. I mean, I can't get a force, but I can get plans with it. Overrun to help just annihilate them with hopefully overrunning of creatures. We got 3 visits. Yeah, get my force with that one, and then I have overrun. The other one's overwhelming stampede. Sorry. Same concept. Instances. I like this card. I think this card is underrated, underplayed. As a matter of fact, I've never seen anyone else play it. It's a good card. You get to exile a enchantment or artifact, and then for 4, normally people are paying 2. Sometimes you can pay 1, but 2, 3 to destroy an artifact or enchantment. Well, this exiles it completely, and then you get to pump your creature up. That's amazing. Fog, free fog. It's always nice to have, especially if you swing out somebody. Retaliation's coming your way. Gotta have, I guess you ain't really gotta have a tutor, but I do have a 1 tutor, mainly because it's a creature tutor for a creature deck. You know. Beast Within. That's one of those 3 mana, destroy target permanent, you know. Gotta have the path and the swords, because they're important. Normally, I would suggest running Flawless Maneuver, because it's free to make your creatures indestructible. But for me, it was the second part of this, being able to give them vigilance also. And I kind of like that. It sucks you got cast on your turn to do it, but it's worth it. And then Heroic Intervention. Everybody's got to have a way to give hexproof and indestructible to your stuff. Gotta have that. Enchantments. Guardian Project, because every card in here is something different. Why not? It's a great card. It's a commander staple, basically. That's one of the draws I have. Also have Lay to Rest, which is whenever a human dies, I draw a card, and whenever a creature controlled one kind dies on, I gain 2 life. That part's not worth it. It's the human dying draw card, because it's a human deck. I'm going to draw cards from it. We're going to do Aura Shards. As you can tell, I like to take care of artifacts and enchantments, because most of the time, creature removal is taken care of by everyone. So I tend to lean heavy towards the artifact and enchantments. Ghostly Prison, just to help deter people from attacking me. If they're going to attack me, they make them pay a little more. Steely Resolve. This one is amazing, mainly because it's basically gives all your creatures hexproof. I mean, it kind of sucks for me a little bit, but tell you, if I can get my stuff hexproof where somebody else can't do nothing about it, so be it. And then Beastmaster Ascension, because it's creature heavy deck, and why not? Make them get big, make them go wide. Artifacts, since this is a creature deck. White spells cost 1 less. Why not? I get a creature for casting a creature, or just casting a white spell. That's a creature, but white spells cost 1 less, and it's a creature deck. So, Mana Rock, Door Destinies. Again, it's a creature deck. There's like most of the deck is creatures. I ain't gonna lie, we're talking 39 creatures in this deck, 40 counting the commander. That's amazing. There you go, green creatures cost 1 less. I really like this one more than any of them, mainly because of the fact that it is +2/+2 and trample. Creature decks, it works amazing. Another rock. Talisman for another rock. Swift Foot Boots. There is a couple of creatures I like to protect, and be nice to give them haste. Don't have lightning gears in here though. I'm not super worried about it, but Vanquisher's Banner. That's another creatures get +1/+1 anthem, and I get to draw a card and catch a creature spell. Like I said, most of the creature deck is humans, so that's basically another draw for me. And we can make our humans cost 1 less, and I get to put a human from my library in my hand if it's on top and begin my upkeep. That's basically another benefit of drawing. Like I said, there's a lot of draw in this deck. Alright, Creature Time. This one has been frowned upon, but it made sense. Gaddock Teague. A lot of my spells are not greater than 4 mana, especially my non-creature ones. And I have no X spells, so it helps me out. It helps me control the board a little bit. Sigarda. She helps humans. She is the human-ish angel, I guess you could say. She feeds into the humans, so she works best with them. Especially give them hexproof and me hexproof, and then she can exile a card from your graveyard, and I can make human tokens with it. Sigarda again. This is the newer one. Anthem, and the Coven is good because I have ways to just make in humans all sorts of different types of powers and stuff. Beast Whisperer. Because it's a creature spell deck. You draw a card every time I cast one. A lot of card draw. I put Miri in here. I know you haven't seen any humans, but she's worth it. It screws your opponents down on attacking and blocking. It's just good. It's just good, period. I probably would only attack with her if I really needed to. If I could swing at someone and she not die, I guess you would say, would be the best. I wouldn't want to swing at her if somebody has a 6/6 out. She would just die because they would block her, period. Because she's a problem. But she's good. This is one of those ones that enters the battlefield or attacks. Any number of creature controlled powers gains double strike, which that is good. And I think, let's see, it might be my last actual non-human in the deck. And sure enough, that is my last non-human. So the rest will be humans. Stalwart Pathlighter. I really like this Coven ability. It's really easy to get, especially with humans, because they're all different types of powers and stuff. This one's I gain creature I can try gain control indestructible up against each combat. That's amazing. Now if Miri has indestructible, so be it. I will swing every time. And like I said, it's not counting just creatures. You don't have to count your humans, it's just creatures. I think it's an underrated card. Especially if you're attacking. Adeline, everyone knows what this does. This is kind of a popular card. It just makes me more humans whenever I attack. That's good for me. That's mana dorks. Kyler, he's good because he pumps your creatures up with each counter on him, and then just a human has to enter the battlefield. Doesn't matter if it's token, regular, permanent, doesn't matter. It's boom. It enters, he gets the counter. Gruul Beastmaster. Now, I've personally haven't seen too many people play this stuff, but I really like this. The Riot, I would pick the one with counter, because whenever it attacks, another creature gets +X/+0, where X is this creature's power. I have seen, as I played, this stuff go off, and I have multiple of these abilities that stack, and it can just go crazy. Esper Sentinel, surprisingly, it's a human. So yeah, it's going in the deck, and it's another draw card, basically. This is Mina Harker, or it is actually Thalia, Guardian of Tharbrain. Non-creature spells cost 1 more cast. Let's see, I have 8 instances, 9 artifacts, 6 enchantments, 4 sorceries. So you're talking 27 cards that are not creatures. That's not going to hurt me. Especially when I have 2 that make my white and green spells cost 1 less. I mean, it just, that's not going to hurt me at all. Kind of a way to lock the board down a little bit. This one is basically another creature in the battlefield control. You put 1 counter on that creature and on it. So that helps out with the Coven ability, because I can make him get bigger. I can make the other creatures come in a little bigger. If I have some that's not big already, you know, it just helps out a little bit. Here is another one of those cards that says stacks. Wild Beastmaster. When it attacks, each other creature gets +X/+X, where it's his power. So you would want to do the other one stacking onto this, and then this gives all the creatures plus that, you know? I mean, Champion Lambert, why not? It's human. I'm not super concerned with the enters the battlefield gets +1/+1, which is actually, it's a bonus. But it's more of the can't block if their power's less than it. So hopefully I can pump it up. Thorns. When you cast a creature spell, just a creature spell, you get a 1/1 human. He pumps out more humans for me. I have plenty of things that have on creatures in the battlefield. It does yada yada yada, so it works out. Hamlet Vanguard. Horde 2. Hordes, period, is nice on any card. He enters the battlefield. I put a 1/1 counter on each non-token human I control. I will have a couple tokens, but it's all non-humans, or non-token humans, which is great because, like I said, I got probably 35 to 34 actual humans in the deck. Mentor the Meek. It's just another way to draw, basically. Humans are cheap. It counts tokens also. I have ways to produce tokens in the deck, so humans are cheap. Or low power, should say, not really cheap. So it helps me draw. Odric, why not? Because I'm going to be attacking, hopefully, with more than 3 creatures, so I can choose what creatures block this turn and how those creatures block. So it's kind of a way to get in, kind of like a little win condition in a way. Here on Blade Elite, another human to battlefield, it gets +1/+1 counter. And I get to add mana. Technically it's going to be a mana dork anyway with my commander, but it's going to be a big mana dork the more humans I'm able to cast. So, and Maja, it's an anthem. Gives all my creatures +1/+1 besides her. When a land enters the battlefield, I can create a human token. So it's giving me landfall, which helps out the deck more because I'm going to get more tokens, and it just helps do more crazy shit in the deck. Victory's Envoy, it's basically just letting me put a counter on each other creature besides this one. Again, helping produce the 1/1 counters across all my creatures helps get the Coven ability quicker and easier. I just put this one in here, Braid, mainly because of it is another ghostly prison type. I felt like I kind of needed. I have played this deck before, and I got a couple of those creatures get +X for its power or whatever, and people saw me do 21 damage one time to somebody in one combat. So I kind of got targeted a little bit, but it happens. So I put that in there just to be on the safe side. Now this one I like. Yes, it does not produce human tokens, but it produces a token for each creature in my graveyard when it attacks, which, again, human, it's a creature deck, so why not? A little extra help there, blockers and stuff. Intrepid, all of these Intrepids have seemed very good. I'm just glad they made a human one. I like the ability that they get +1/+1 for each Valor counter on it. I didn't have any way to proliferate it, but it coming in, and hopefully I have a couple of creatures out beforehand, so I can tap them to actually help pay it. That way it pumps them all up. Since all my creatures will be mana dorks my commanders out. Cemetery Protector. I see a couple of these have flash if you haven't noticed. This one does. Another one further down did too. I'm not super worried about the flash, more of the effects on them. The flash is nice because I could just flash them at the end of opponent's end step or whatever. Probably would. But this one's when it enters the battlefield, exile a card from a graveyard. Any card. That helps get rid of a problematic card that somebody put in there. Especially, let's say, Nexus of Fate goes in the graveyard. Oh, trigger on a stack for it to shuffle in. I'm going to flash this down. I'm going to exile it from your graveyard. Therefore, it's gone. Kozilek, gone. Ulamog, gone. You know, get rid of them. It's the best thing you can do. Whenever I play a land or cast a spell, if it shares a card type with the exiled card, create a 1/1 human creature token. So you can use this both ways. You can use this defensively to get rid of stupid cards, like I said, Nexus of Fate, Ulamog, all the stupid Eldrazi's that shuffle back in. Or I could, say get rid of a human in my graveyard, and every time I cast a human, I can get 1/1s. I probably would never do the land, considering I have a dual land, and I only have 9 planes, 10 forests. It's not really worth that, but the human part is. Alright, Seraphim. This is another one that pumps my creature up. It's only a target, so like I said, I pump up the Beastmaster with them. That way the Beastmaster pumps up everyone. It's the way to do it. Trust me, it works out great. Machiko, this card's just good, period. I seen the Secret Lair, had to buy it. Whenever a sorcerer opponent controls those damage to you, that player sacrifices a permanent. So now if you want to deal damage to me, you're gonna have to get rid of something. It's kind of like a reverse annihilation. Instead of me attacking you, you make a sacrifice, you have to sacrifice when you do damage to me. So is it really worth hurting me or not? Summerwall Sage. This one is just amazing. For 3 mana, you get to add 3 mana. Yeah, I can only cast some creature spells, but creature deck. This is a great card. Hopeful. Training is kind of weird. I forgot exactly what it does. But I think is whenever it attacks, you get to give a 1/1 counter to someone of a smaller power. But that's not reason this card's in here. Read cards in here is because I can pay 3 for 2 counters from any creature, which I have plenty of those. You've seen that pumps, and destroy an artifact or enchantment. Like I said, I lean heavy towards the artifact and enchantment destruction more than the creature stuff. Seraph, it's a human. Why not put this in here? Tap creature control have death touch, and then if they're untapped, they get hexproof. That's just good. This one I would probably never tap, ever, because they will get rid of it as soon as they can. So if it's untapped, that's other creatures, doesn't matter. I guess if I would tap it, it'd only be for the bottom part. But again, that's not the greatest unless I'm going to add a whole bunch of mana for some reason. And I need to. Like I said, I probably would never swing with it because that makes it easier to get killed, so I would never tap it. It's mainly in there for the static effects. Eternal Witness, because it's a human and you never know when you need to get something from your graveyard. That's pretty much a staple in green decks. Riki, that's another way to draw. I have a lot of legendary creatures. As a matter of fact, I will count them and let you know how many I have after this. Augur of Autumn. This one's good because it gives me advantage. For one, I can look at library anytime and I can play spells from it. So if there's ever a land on top of it, I can be like, no, I can't play land this turn. We're going to get rid of that land. That way I can have something on top that could be worth it. Again, the Coven Power, easy to get. And as long as I control 3, I can cast creatures on top of my library. So it gives me extra advantage on the deck. That's basically another draw, essentially. Maschio, the Humorless, I like this card. I mean, you can only play anytime you can play instance, but that's any freaking time, basically. Tapped creatures you control, they block as they were untapped. That basically gives you vigilance, pseudo vigilance, like she has pseudo flash on her, but that's great to have. So Guardian Zealot, this is another one of those that helps out. Any number of creatures with different powers each get +6/+6 and vigilance where it's this power. So again, I would that's literally any creature with different power get +3/+3 and vigilance. That's great, especially if you can give this to the Beastmaster, and it pumps up everything else by +3. That's a good theme around this deck. This right here, Kamal. I like Kamal. I like Kamal just because since they came out in Onslaught, or they came out in Torment. Sorry. The overrun ability, that's just straight up overrun. I don't really care about the land part, mainly because this. I mean, if honestly in this deck, if I had my commander, I had enough to tap creatures to make lands indestructible and haste with vigilance, it might be worth it because it gives them +3/+3 and trample. That's 4/4s, but I probably wouldn't do it most of the time. It's mainly for the overrun effect to help my creatures and with trample also. Lenore, she was the face of the commander deck. I did not buy the deck, but I did buy cards from it because it was good to me. I just didn't think the commander deck was worth it. Beginning of combat, you get a 1 counter up to 1 target creature. Then if you control 3 creatures with power different, you draw a card. That's easy to get in this deck. And then I bought this fancy one because it was nice and pretty, but throw him out. Here's battlefield. Humans get +1/+1 and lifelink till end of turn. Flashing that out in combat would be awesome. Hell, even blockers would be awesome. So, let's see how many legendaries I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16, not count my commander, 17, count my commander. So that's a potential of 17 card draws off of Riki. Because legendary. I mean, that to me is good. It's about 1/4 of my deck. I'm going to get a card off of every time I play it, if he's out. Like I said, base stats on this deck. The deck as you see it with all the fancy stuff in it is about $347 on mid on TCG. If you just want to buy a non-fancy whatever you can, it's about $257 to $263 according to Tapped Out, which the deck will be on Tapped Out for anyone to look at and read more into. The average CMC is 3.27. I like to stay below 4 because why not? 4 is a little too much unless you just have super heavy artifacts for ramping and stuff. The mana cost is about 38 white and 50 green pips. I do produce 28 white and 30 green with 7 colorless due to some of them, but that's not counting in my commander's ability to make my creatures produce mana. That is just the amount of lands that can produce mana in the deck. According to Tapped Out, it is about 62% casual and 38% competitive. I don't disagree with that. I don't think it's super competitive. I don't like to play competitive anyways. I have one green card that is 8 CMC and the rest are 5 and below, according to Tapped Out. Which I don't think that's quite true. I think Kamal was 6, huh? Yeah, Kamal's 7. Or 8. Kamal's 8. Okay. Kamal's probably the only one. I'm looking through the cards real quick. Yeah, because over... What makes the MP is 5. So yeah, so Kamal is the 8 mana cost that I had. Everything is 5 and below. So it's made to be a kind of a quick deck, so that's why it is got a lot of card draw in it to hopefully counterbalance the not having cards in your hand, because I've been there before, and it's not the greatest of things. Like I said, it's 39 creatures, not counting your commander. 33 lands. Sorry, I said 34 at the beginning, but I was mistaken. It's 33, which doesn't matter considering your commander makes them all tap for mana. 8 instances, 9 artifacts, 6 enchantments, and 4 sorceries. And according to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there is 6 cards that are not humans in the deck. So roughly 33, not counting your commander, is humans. That's good. That's a third of your deck is humans. I like the deck. The deck works out great. Like I said, I'm going to post a link to the Tapped Out in the bottom of the description. That way anybody can go look at it, they can see it, they can adjust the way they feel like. If people like it, they can play it. If not, it is what it is. I have it up there for everyone to benefit from it. I did say I skipped out on buying any of the new products from the D&D set because it just wasn't a commander set to me. It does have some fun stuff in it, but it just wasn't what I wanted from the Commander Legends. It was more of a D&D style. But I did buy a pre-release kit, and here is the code for whoever gets it. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you want to call it, Kwanzaa. Have a good day with it. Till next time, I'll be seeing y'all around.